So this is basic posing for better wedding photography, part 2. Hey guys, so this is part 2 of basic posing for better wedding photography. If you missed part 1, I'll put the link down in the description below. Make sure you check that out after you watch this video. And as I add more episodes, I'll try to put all those links in the description as well. It doesn't really matter what order you watch them in. The idea is just to do different couples at different locations and a slightly different approach with each couple. Okay, so the episode you're about to watch is a couple in Pittsburgh. This was at a casino in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I had about 10-15 minutes with the couple. We'd already shot the ceremony, already shot the family formals, already shot the whole bridal party, and I was left with about 10-15 minutes with the couple to walk around and get some good images. So as you're about to see, I did start off really simple and basic. I kind of got them in really close to see how they're going to interact with each other, and just focused on hands and head and got them in a little bit closer, try to feel little basic poses, and just kind of saw what they were comfortable with, and I kind of built off of that. And as you watch the video, I'm going to try to explain things as we go along. If you guys have any questions at all, by all means, put them in the comment section down below. I always try to address pretty much every single question that I get. So if you watch until the end of the video, I do have a little bonus tip for you that works pretty much with every single couple. It's an approach that I take to every single wedding, every single engagement session, and it works every single time. So we're gonna jump right into the video. I'm gonna kind of explain things as we go along. Here we go. So this series of videos is focused mainly on the posed images. Of course, you have to do some candid stuff too, but the whole series is gonna be mainly focused on the posed images. You can't always just rely on just nothing but candid stuff. You're gonna have to create some images by putting your couples in situations and letting them interact with each other a little bit. So having these poses in mind could possibly get you out of a jam if you end up with a couple who doesn't respond very well to some candid stuff. So as you can see, we're starting off really simple and basic, keeping them really close, focusing on the head, focusing on where the hand placement is, doing some full-length shots, some half-body shots, just getting them nice and comfortable with the idea of getting their photo taken. Like I said in the last video, they just got married, so they haven't had a chance to even talk to each other yet. So we got to work them in, start off nice and simple, and then work into some more creative poses. Don't be afraid to ask for someone in the bridal party to jump in and help you out, like with the veil shot. Add a little bit of arc in that veil, or maybe even drop the veil. Having someone help you out, with, even if you have a second shooter, try to include some of the bridal party. Let them have some fun with it. So if you get a shot that you like, don't be afraid to show the couple. It helps build up some confidence, makes them feel like you actually know what the heck you're doing. It also builds up your confidence as well. And if they don't like it, switch it up, do something a little bit different. Of course, you don't want to show the couple every single shot, but nothing wrong with getting their approval. This is my favorite part.
Shot right there. We do one more. We're gonna drop one more veil.
So this is a real live wedding, nothing staged. This isn't something where you have like 2 hours to do a styled shoot. It's a real live wedding in real time.
Close your eyes, Kayla. Drop it. Perfect.
So each spot you go to, you definitely want to do a couple different poses at each location so you maximize your time with the couple. And so every place you go to, do a couple poses. Go to the next location, do a couple poses. You don't want to just do one individual pose at each location. You want to get as much variety as possible in a short period of time.
Go for that kiss again. Alright guys, look back here at me. Oh wait, I see what you did. Hold that.
So one way to eliminate a lot of background distractions is to go ahead and focus on just like half body shots. You don't always have to do full length shots. I probably shoot about 75% half body stuff, about 25% full body stuff. Getting it nice and close is going to eliminate a lot of distractions, especially when you're in a city like this session here. We're in Pittsburgh. A lot of people are walking around, so focus on half body stuff and then go ahead and get the full body stuff whenever you can. But be prepared to do a lot of half body stuff to really minimize the distractions in the background.
You're going to look at each other. Flowers down to your side a little bit, honey.
Anytime you do any kind of walking photos, the trick really is to have them looking at each other. Don't make them look at the camera. Looking at each other is going to make them smile more. It's just going to make it look like they're actually walking. If they're just like looking straight ahead or looking at the camera, it's not going to look very natural.
Hold that right there.
Anytime you have a big veil, definitely take advantage of it. Have one of the bridal party members or your second shooter help you out, and just pull that veil out, let it sag a little bit. Try to get some shots really showing that thing off. You don't have to have a ton of them, but definitely get a couple. The mom and dad are definitely going to appreciate that.
Let's let it sag.
So if you notice in pretty much all of my poses, anytime I put my couple in a situation, I always go back and have them get a little bit closer. Now when you put someone in a pose, they typically stand straight up. They're a little rigid, but having them lean a little bit towards each other, it just improves the pose dramatically. Just have them just lean in just a little bit more that last minute before you take that shot. So the images you're looking at are pretty much unedited. That's why you can see the concrete barriers in the background. Of course, we will go back and remove those out of any images that we use for like albums or prints or frames. We're gonna knock that out, don't worry. So one of the best posing tips I can give you is focus on the hands. Every location you go to, do something a little bit different. You can do hands in the pockets, hands on her waist, then you can take her hands, put it on like his lapel, on his arm, on his jacket, up behind his head, pulling him closer. Just focusing on hands in every single pose and switching up a little bit can really dramatically change pose to pose from shot to shot. So another posing tip is don't forget, parents want to see their faces. The parents of these kids, they want to see faces. They want to see them happy and smiling. And of course, everyone wants to get those big dramatic shots, but you got to focus on the more simple and basic stuff first. Get that out of the way before you can really get into the cool stuff. Mixing in some walking shots from both the front and from the back is an easy way to add a lot of variety to your shots. And as always, make them look at each other while they're walking. If they're just looking straight ahead, you're just looking at the back of their head. So definitely have them looking at each other while they're walking. So thank you for watching. If you have any comments about the video, please put them down below. I'll absolutely answer those as best that I can. And if you have any posing tips of your own, put those down there too. I'll try to use them in a future video. Okay, so here's that bonus tip for you. I use an approach called a 2x4 system. And a friend of mine told me this 15 years ago. I'm not sure if he came up with the name or it came from someplace else, or maybe we even made up the name along the way. I'm not really sure. But the 2x4 posing system, it just gives me 4 starting points. And I still use it today. I've been doing it for 15 years. So you have 4 basic ideas, 4 basic starting points. You have looking at the camera, looking at each other, a kiss, and then looking off camera. And those are just 4 basic starting points that can all be tweaked and changed for each couple, for each location. But it just takes the fear away of thinking of, okay, what am I going to do over here? What am I going to do over there? The idea is to pick 2 poses out of 4 at each location you go to, and then keep mixing it up. That way it keeps your couples fresh, keeps them thinking that there's a lot of variety going on. If you just do the same 3 poses, or same 4 poses, or same 2 poses at every single location, even if it's just a starting point, your couples will pick up on that. It's going to get kind of stale for them. They're going to get pretty bored pretty quickly. The idea is to keep things fresh and keep things fun. So maybe by the tree, you're going to do looking at the camera, and then looking at each other. Maybe over on a bench, you're gonna have them looking at each other, and then maybe a kiss. And maybe down by the river, they're both gonna look off camera, and then maybe look back at the camera. So the idea is keep mixing that up. Do all 4 poses, but not all at the same time. So all 4 starting points, I should say, and just pick 2 of those. That's why I call it a 2x4 system. You have 4 starting points, just pick 2 at every location. It's gonna add a lot of variety, it's gonna keep your couples on their toes, and it's gonna take all that fear away out of your mind of thinking of something fresh and new every single time. Because maybe you're gonna do the same pose at a couple different spots. But the thing is, if you keep mixing that up, your starting points, they're not gonna notice that at all. So maybe you just do a simple pose over here with the bride with the hand on the chest of her husband, and then down by the river you do the same thing, but you didn't do it in the same order, they didn't pick up on it. So again, it's keeping things basic and simple and just building off of that. So the 2x4 system will work every single time. I still use it today. I use it every wedding, every engagement session, and it works every single time. As always, thank you for watching. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to see more content just like this, and we will see you next time.